Listen, our sports guys. Another quarantine episode. It's your boy T.
It's your man TJ.
It's your boy Nam. Welcome back.
We took a little break last week, but a lot has happened since our last episode. The NBA started, hockey started their playoffs, baseball started, and we're gonna start off with the NBA. Did you guys happen to see any of the games from the first night?
Oh yes.
What are your thoughts?
On which one?
First the Pelicans and the Jazz.
All the games. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say all of the games right now is pretty much predictable, man. I mean, it's like we had said before. Everybody is a slow start. Some people are not, up to par yet. I would say, except for maybe a handful of people that we can probably, put out there like Paul George, Anthony Davis, who really, did good the other day as well. So
now, did you TJ in particular? Did you see Gold James or the game-winning bucket? The game-winning defense?
Yeah, I saw the Lakers play. Topsy-turvy, man. I mean, since games have started playing, I mean, people losing, people winning, so it's hard to say. Lakers do look good, especially if Anthony Davis played like he did play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, but the other day what was it? Who they played? Yeah, when they won by 2
against the Clippers.
Yeah. That game right there is already that right there is already decided in my opinion between those two clubs right there, because that's probably who's going to end up boiling up down too far in the West. But yes, I did see the Lakers play.
Okay, I just wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know. Quick question. Go ahead now.
My takeaway is we can't really say much right now because, like TJ was saying, these first 2-3 games are everybody's kind of getting their legs into them, getting back into the flow of actual intense type of playoff atmosphere games. I think around games 6 or 7, that's when we can definitively say what's what and what's not. But a couple of teams have stood out in the first couple of 3 games. The Blazers stood out to me. Milwaukee stood out to me. Of course, the Lakers and the Clippers, those are obvious. But and the Rockets, those teams, they stood out to me because they still look like they're in a mid-season form. Like it's not much rust on them.
So the Raptors didn't stick out to you?
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. The Raptors too. I forgot to mention them. The Raptors definitely stood out to me yesterday.
Now you see how good the Raptors are. If they can get to the finals without Kawhi, I don't know. Was it Kawhi and the Raptors, or was it the Raptors and Kawhi?
It was the Raptors as a collective with Kawhi. I mean, you can't take anything away from that guy, no matter how much you want to sit here and say that all the team was all right without him. He just put him over that hump. I mean,
I'll give you
now,
that.
Granted. Now, LeBron told wasn't there, but at the same time,
or Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant wasn't there neither.
Right. And to be fair, these players are a year removed into development too. They're a lot better this year as far as individually than they were last year too. These players are a lot better.
True that. I just don't want no player to have anything being taken away from them just because another player may have been injured or another player just not playing. I mean, this is the sport. These are the sports that we live in. People get hurt. So that we're going to take away from a guy that's flourishing just because another guy or a guy's hurt not playing is playing in that conference. We can't do that.
You know what's so funny? It's funny you said that. It's funny how we can take away from a player because another player was hurt. Kyrie LeBron. But that's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode.
I ain't taking nothing away from that guy, man. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna say we because me and I didn't do that, but Mr. T, you've been dragging Kawhi for quite some time now.
No. I haven't been dragging him. I'm just saying, like, his road to the finals was a lucky path.
Okay, okay. How about we?
Well, he was the MVP of the one with the Spurs. So how was that lucky? He was balling.
Right.
No, he was balling. He was balling with the Spurs, but he didn't have his breakout series until the finals.
Which is when it counts, though. But still,
I think the Sixers series he played well. He took them over the hump.
We talking about when he was with the Spurs.
Okay.
But
I mean,
not to take nothing away from Kawhi, he won the championship. If he can do it this year, he'll be the first player in NBA history to win 3 different Finals MVPs.
But you said
if he wins
in like a 7-year window.
No, in history, in NBA.
I know, but even to emphasize it, it's a small window.
Yeah.
But you said to chime off you for a minute, T. You said that he didn't show up until the finals.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you just said, which is when you want to show up anyway.
Absolutely.
That's when it matters.
Absolutely.
Those other 80 games or whatever, they're just to get you over the hump, to get you in there to play for it. But the finals is when I need you to show up. Absolutely. I don't care how you got there. I don't care if you only won 50 games, 40 games, and you made it to the playoffs. If you can go and win a championship off of that's fine with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I take nothing away from Kawhi. I'm just messing with Kawhi. And at the end of the day, poor George over Kawhi, but that's a whole nother topic. But
I'll even agree with that because Paul George. I mean, those guys when they both healthy, they both defensive monsters, man. When they're healthy and they playing right.
So let me ask you guys this: with the NBA and how they went about the bubble, and now that you see Major League Baseball and they having players test positive, do you think Major League Baseball should have had something in place like an NBA bubble?
Grand opening, grand closing for the MLB. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead and chime in.
It's the NBA is a unique situation to do the bubble thing because it's the playoffs. So you can eliminate almost half of the teams. In this case, it's only 22 teams that are in the bubble.
Yeah.
And then the staff is a lot more smaller than Major League Baseball staff.
Yeah.
Including the team itself.
Including the team itself, yeah. So it's easier to do this with the NBA than it is baseball. Because baseball season is starting. The NBA season was ending. That's why it's able to work. So I like TJ said, it might be a grand closing for Major League Baseball, or they could wait and just do a playoffs like how they did, like a small maybe 10-game play-in or whatever this thing that they're calling is, and then lead into the playoffs. That's probably the only way you could do it. But how do you determine who gets in the playoffs?
Now
it's another story too.
I got an idea, right?
Hold on before you go. I know you're going to add something to it. I just want to what Nam said too. It is easier that way. Not only is it easier for the NBA because they're in a confined area. You're talking about other sports being played outside. Where right here we can control it, put everybody in a bubble. Try to contain it to keep it from getting in that bubble. I guess when they let guys out, when they were letting guys out for like emergencies or family things, I think that part right there may affect it a little bit because you don't know who you're going around when you go outside that bubble. But as far as everybody in there confined, I think that works better than any other sport.
So basically, I called a lot of things so far on the podcast, but if the baseball commission is listening to the 9 to 5 Sports Guys podcast, which I know he is, what he should have done was you take all of the teams, being as that you're starting your season, you take all of the teams in the East, have them at Disney World, just like the NBA players. You take all the teams in the West, you put them at Disney World in California, you let them play their schedule, let them play their playoffs, and when it comes to the World Series, that's when the two would meet. So instead of, because the NBA only has 22 teams compared to baseball, which is like, 30-something? You keep 15 or 16 in the East, 15, 16 in the West. Have them play, keep them in the bubble instead of them traveling to each city. And you got players actually going home, going here. You don't know what they're doing once they leave the stadium. But the NBA, you know where everybody is going. You know where everybody's doing. You have a control over everything.
That's true. That's true. But see, the issue that's gonna be there is they play over 100 and some games. So you don't have facilities to where you can have 7 games going on at a time, and then the thing that helps the NBA is there's a regulation time limit. Baseball, a game could go 3 hours, 4 hours. So
we've seen them go 5 to 6 hours one game.
Yeah, it could overlap into the scheduling of the next team if you're limited on facilities too.
Now,
that's why it only works here because the games are limited. There's a time. The players are limited. So the sample that you have to contain is limited. But baseball is for lack of better words, is an uncontrollable fire right now. There's too many players. There's too many things to contain.
So let me ask you this: what if let's just argument say I don't know, but what if both locations, the one in California and the one in Florida, had 6 or 7 baseball fields on the facility?
It could work.
Yeah,
but the staff too,
But you still talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna say you still talking about a lot of players. It's the same thing with football. You got 53 guys on a team. That's just the players. You're not talking about the coaches and assistant coaches and trainers and
coordinators.
Coordinators, all this stuff. So it's not. It's just not that one particular part you contain. And we talking about the amount of players. You got 15 guys on the team in the NBA.
15 plus maybe 7 to 8 coaching staff and maybe a couple of trainers and maybe 2 doctors. So it's maybe 20 per team. Let's be 25 per team.
Yeah,
just to lowball it.
And you can spread all them out.
With baseball, we're talking about maybe 50, maybe 40. Right.
Yeah,
a lot.
I mean, it was just a suggestion.
No. It's definitely a good suggestion, bro. But it's just
based off what the NBA. They said that they didn't have any new positive cases. And granted, yes, it's easier to control with the NBA compared to Major League Baseball and football.
And that's why that'll continue going on. I mean, of course, we know this virus ain't going anywhere. I mean, you got to be blind or stupid to it to think it's just going to vanish. Yeah. So this is going to have to be the norm for the NBA now, as like a bubble type setup. I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, it's going to have to be like the individual bubbles at each divisional organization, So that's really the only way that's going. It's almost going to look like military. Everybody confined to a barracks, and and then you go out to train or go out for that morning run. All the things that they do in the military, throughout the day. It's going to have to be like that almost.
So would you guys say that the games in the bubble have been competitive?
Oh, definitely.
No, I'm saying, would you say that the games in the bubble have been competitive?
Oh, that's not, no matter where it is now, it could be under 2 trees playing in the dirt. Competition's still going to be competition now. Yes. I mean, I saw LeBron running up and down the court, like he's, like that stretch. They've been sitting out has actually helped them. Yeah. So
definitely,
it helped a lot of players. It helped a lot of players.
Help every player. There's no health excuse for any player. Unless you get hurt in the bubble, of course.
No, there's only one excuse, and we got to talk about this.
Well,
the Pelicans
you got lingering injuries now.
The Pelicans and Zion Williamson. What are they doing with him?
Well, I'll say this too. I know a lot of people, saying he don't want to play, thinking he don't want to play, but people you forget that you don't know what's going on in people's minds. You don't know what's going on in people's lives outside of the sport they're playing. He just had an incident where he had to leave on an emergency.
Yeah.
To go deal with his family. So the boy is young, 19 years old, 20 years old. So these things are still affecting his mind. So we don't know that he's not just going to play. I'm sure it's not because of that.
No, I think Go ahead now.
No. To be fair, he like TJ was just saying, he left the bubble, so he just came back. Being that he didn't play none of the scrimmages, I think they want to ease him back in because he's I guess he's injury prone at some point. So they're just easing him in with the minutes thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with him health wise.
Right.
But the opposing players and his own teammates have had warm up games and the scrimmages to kind of get their feet under them. Yeah. They don't want to just rush him in there and get him hurt.
That's
again.
right.
He's a big piece. That's the only thing I can say about the Pelicans. But I don't even think even if he didn't have minutes restrictions, I don't see them winning any of these games because you see they're completely outmatched right now. They're missing something. We don't know what that is yet, but they're definitely missing something.
Yeah, I think Alvin Gentry has coached his last couple of games with the Pelicans.
No, not yet.
Well, I don't know, man. He done had some stretches on some teams, and I think his way just might not be working. Not to say he's not a good coach. It's just his way might not be working for them right now. He's been there, 5 years? 6 years?
About so.
Yeah. Close.
Yeah.
I think they need to start fresh. Get a young head coach with some experience. Don't just throw anybody in there because you got a young squad. And you have two pieces in Zion and what was something wrong with you?
Who's the other piece? That's what I'm waiting on.
Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
Oh, Dragon.
I thought you was gonna hit us with the Lonzo Ball.
Hey, look.
I thought so.
Hey, look.
That's why I was looking like.
That's gonna be the when we put this up on the Instagram page. That's gonna be the little clip. You should have saw your face just now when I said the two. But they got two pieces in Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, and I think if they add like another solid veteran, that this will definitely be a solid team. Before the season started, go ahead.
No, I'm saying with the coaching thing, you were going on to something right there. They really need to get somebody young and somebody who has the time and patience to build the team. This team is still building. So you're gonna bring a coach in that's probably ready to win some championships by now. That's probably ain't gonna be the best thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Jason Kidd, just throwing that out.
Jason Kidd is he's a good team builder. A real good team builder, in my opinion. He takes young guys, and builds them up. So he's a good piece.
Mark Jackson too. That's another one.
Oh, Mark Jackson probably he's probably done coaching, man. He's probably I think he's fine where he's at. He ain't gonna coach no more.
Not for nothing. You could get the Nets old head coach Kenny Atkinson.
That may work.
He did a pretty solid job last year.
I just haven't seen enough of him,
Yeah.
Of a winning pedigree to sit here and say, oh, he's a good coach. I ain't taking from him. I'm just saying I haven't seen enough of it.
Now, I know you guys probably don't care, but I do. Knicks.
About the Knicks? Yeah, no, we don't.
They had they signed Tom Thibodeau.
That's our old coach.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Great defensive coach. I just don't think that's what y'all need.
Let's just say the shit show continues in New York.
It does.
Thibodeau is not the coach for you guys, especially with the young talent that you guys may acquire in the draft.
Yeah.
Or whatever y'all could potentially trade for, or any acquisitions you guys can have in the future. Thibodeau has been known to ruin teams because he runs players into the ground defensively.
Correction.
Hold on. To be fair, Thibodeau is a perfect coach to have on a staff because he's a defensive genius. We've seen what he did to disrupt LeBron for years in Boston, but as a head coach, he hasn't proven himself. Derrick Rose,
Boston?
In Boston.
Oh, in Chicago.
No. He was a defensive coach in Boston.
Oh, you're talking about an assistant? Oh, okay.
Assistant, yeah. That's the better role for him. But as a coach, the only reason he looked so well in Chicago with Derrick Rose is because of Derrick Rose.
Yeah. Excuse me, that's wrong. That is wrong. Now, get me wrong. He did look good.
Has he done anything outside of Chicago when Derrick Rose?
We was leading top 3 in defense for 5 years, and in the last 3 of those years, we were number 1. So that's why I say he's a defensive coach.
And that proves my point. He's good for a staff on the defensive side. That's it. But as a head coach, he runs a high school offense. If you ever watch any of the games that the Chicago has had with Derrick Rose, it's the most basic offense in the world. It's just a bunch of pin downs and swing this way and go the other way. There's no intricacy to his sets or anything. So him going to New York and having LaMelo potentially, or anybody else, depending on whatever y'all get, or Cole, or any of these high draft picks, these quality draft picks, offensively, these kids are offensively gifted. That's what they need, an offensive mind. Yeah. Not somebody to coach more defense for them. That's my take. Y'all could see it differently, but I feel like
that's what I said at the beginning. He's a defensive coach. I don't think that's what they need.
Yeah, they don't need though. So the shit show continues, Sam. We'll see you guys next year at lottery picking the draft.
Hey man, the Knicks are, I don't know if you can say the habitual losers.
That's a good one.
I mean, I'm just calling a duck a duck. I mean, you know, the Knicks, you gotta change your front office, man. Everywhere else will not get better unless their front office changes.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of habitual losers, what are your thoughts on the New York Jets trading away Jamal Adams to the Seattle Supersonics? Seahawks.
Hey, it's very stuttering. I understand. You can't even get it out right. Hey, he didn't want to be there. I mean, why keep somebody who doesn't want to play? I mean, it's obviously the coaching.
I think he wanted to get paid also, and the Jets wasn't.
Of course. Of course, yeah, he definitely want to get paid, and much deserving. I mean, his stats. He's been doing good since he got. Excuse me. We went to LSU.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a good safety. I just don't know if Seattle was the place for him to go to. I don't know that. I guess
that's perfect for them. The rich get richer over there.
Oh well, Seattle thinks it's good for him. They definitely think it's good for him. But see, they looking for that same thing.
He's young, right? He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't even 25 yet. I don't think so.
That's perfect for them.
But the Seattle's still trying to get that same thing, trying to get that Legion of Boom back, and it's just not going to it's just not going to happen. You got you get Richard Sherman and all them guys, and Cam Chancellor, all those guys played off of one another. Is he going to be able to do that by himself out there?
I don't know.
Well, I think the smart move for them at this point is to re-sign Clowney, because that gives them an elite player in every level of their defense.
He doesn't even want to play there. He talking about he want to play for other teams. Why do I want somebody like that?
Pay that man whatever he needs, and that way you have the Legion of Boom 2.0.
But I guess we'll see. Wagner, Wagner, he's still doing pretty good, but he'll be coming for a payday again. So you got a lot of those things to think about.
Now, before the football season start, do you think the football can prevent any new cases of? I'm saying, like, once they start up, you think they can contain the virus as best as they can?
Oh, I could say this. They could kind of create a little bubble for the NFL teams if they want to.
Yeah.
Kind of like, like on their facilities. They have, when they usually go to training camp, they usually have places for the guys to bunk together and stay together and things like that.
Yeah.
So why can't they do it like that? Why can't they do it like that? And then, like, for the games, when it get cold, they have masks on their face as it is. So why can't they have something like a mask wearing on their face year round? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
They're trying to get the players to wear visors. All the players have to wear visors, and then they have a special mouthpiece that they got to wear.
Yeah, the clear visors. Yeah, I mean, that'll prevent spit and whatever comes flying in somebody's eyes.
I mean, it's possible for the NFL. It's just they have to have a bubble because they only play once a week.
Yeah.
And then of course there's a time limit. And then you just got to make sure that every team quarantines at least, I guess, maybe in a month span, because the games are usually regional for a little bit, or when they do the conference games or whatever, since they're in the same conference, figure out something to do there or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, the NFL could do it a lot better than baseball.
Yeah.
10 times.
You're right.
And they got enclosed dome facilities, practice fields too. Like you could use that to create a bubble to where all those guys could be in there. You know, it's ways of doing it. It's just I don't know. We sit here and come up with a whole bunch of solutions for all these teams to come up with a bubble. And I don't understand, or not a bubble, but ways to get around this virus. And we making it sound so simple, which I don't understand what's making it so hard for them. But
Money, yeah.
The money.
Yeah, that money is definitely what's pushing them to get things going for certain.
But nah, like you said, even the whole dome thing. Even if a team like Carolina, who we don't have a dome, but there's college teams in the area that they can use a dome, because the college they don't play on Sundays, so you can use their facilities on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ways around, and I believe they already have those things to say, because the NFL never hinted on shutting down. They never hinted on shutting down. They say everything is going as planned, so they got something in plan.
Yeah, the NFL they had everything on schedule like there was no virus anyway.
All right.
They had the draft, they had free agency, they had everything on schedule, so they planned on having their regular season and however they was gonna have it. So,
Go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was gonna say I hope whatever they had in place, it works so that they can have a full season. Compared to, I hope they're looking at Major League Baseball and taking notes and like, you know what, we're not gonna make the same mistake as Major League Baseball. So that was it.
I see y'all. The Giants and the Jets, y'all say y'all weren't going to have any fans there. I know my boys said that, they were going to try to have at least 10 to 20,000 people within the stadium. So I guess it's first come, first serve.
Oh, no. Atlanta, especially Atlanta right now, it is like a wild west down there.
Hey, I mean, it's bad. It's bad everywhere.
Oh, no.
But, do I agree with it?
Terrible.
Do I agree with it? No. But they require people to wear masks. 10, 20,000 people inside of a stadium is really nothing when they spread it out. So that's not really bad, But I don't know, man. I don't know. This we got to find a way to live with this thing, man. Because this is what's here now.
Honestly, Go ahead.
No, I got a quick question. What's your thoughts on, since we're on the NFL side, what's your thoughts of players opting out, not playing in the season?
I don't blame them.
Because it's different than the NBA when the guy said, I'm not going to the bubble.
I don't blame them for the simple fact that what they're probably thinking of as, even if I do survive, I might have someone in the household that might not survive, or I might have someone in the household that's immune system is not as good as mine. So I respect all the players that are taking that into consideration and saying, like, I got to worry about my family and my loved ones, rather than myself. I may survive, but then someone in the household may not. So I have no issue with that at all. And I honestly think, for that sole purpose, just for the simple fact that you might have someone that might not survive, I think they should still get paid.
And yeah, I agree with that, because that's not just a business move. That's a personal move as well. I mean, that's a health concern. So you shouldn't penalize somebody for not wanting to play based on
something that's not in their control.
I could get hurt or hurt somebody else.
Yeah, it's not in their control.
It's like trying to make somebody play when they're injured.
Yeah.
You can't
now you're gonna have to regulate that. You're gonna have to regulate that, because then everyone will try to use that, and then if everyone says that, then no one plays, then no one get paid.
That's right.
Yeah, but then again, like I said, as far as the owners, this is the only time when you literally can't blame players for not wanting to play. It's not like they're holding out because they want more money or they want, they're literally concerned with the long-term ramifications of what could happen. And now another thing, I'm no doctor, but you don't know what, if you do catch it and survive, what are the long-term health effects in the next 5 to 10 years? You may have respiratory problems down the line. You might be good now, but you might have respiratory problems down the line. So instead of putting yourself in a situation where you can compromise yourself or others, I think it's best to for them to just be like, you know what, I got to think about my family first,
And see, and that's what draws the question. That's what draws the question for the future of all of us, man. Like, where do we go from here? How are we going to live with this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, we stopped. The world stopped for a moment for about 3 months.
Yeah.
It stopped,
Except for in Florida.
Right. And nothing, I'm not going to say nothing has accomplished because we learned more about it, but it just seems like when everything was shut down for 3 months, things got worse. So
yeah,
how are we going to resume sports in everyday life with this thing?
Normal is not going to be normal for a while.
Yeah, the new normal is going to change anyway.
It's going to change
consider
anyway.
As normal forever. For the next 10, 20 years, normal will be different.
And the thing about it, even if they do come out with a vaccine, everybody's not going to get first dibs. That's number one. And number two, this virus is not going nowhere. It's going to be here along with the flu, along with the common cold. It's here to stay. It's not going nowhere.
It's here to stay.
Well, everybody ain't going to take that vaccine either. Some people are against it, not only personally, but religious reasons as well.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It might get to a point, like I said, I'm no doctor. I just watch a couple shows, but it might get to the point where they might force, especially, how with school, you have to take the flu shot.
Yeah.
They might do the same with kids where you have to take this in order to come back to school. And then I wouldn't be surprised if they
even work
jobs. Yeah, some jobs do the same thing. So who knows?
I don't know, man. You got parents already talking about, their kids not going back to school again. So I mean, if you're sitting there telling the parents that they need to have, if the kids got to have a vaccination in order to return to school, they may just throw that in your face. But mine's not going back anyway, So.
Yeah. It's just, it's a lot of unknown that's going on, and we just have to wait and see what's going to happen.
I think if nothing else happens, man, we'll have more basketball than anything else.
That's it.
Probably, and we can throw football in there. We don't know how that works yet because it hasn't got started yet. But I think if anything, we'll be watching more basketball.
Basketball, tennis, golf, things of that nature. But everything.
Yeah, you know what? No, tennis was on. I didn't pay attention to it, man.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to enjoy tennis for a while, because it's very hard to do these things with team sports, man. It's very hard.
Yeah.
True that.
And I will say this: if the NBA is successful with no new cases and they complete the rest of the season and the playoffs, I think Adam Silver, he deserves to be the best commissioner.
We might have to give him a Nobel Peace Prize because he's definitely he's doing some extraordinary things right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's still behind David Stern, but yeah, he's definitely good.
Yeah,
definitely.
But he's definitely a player's commissioner.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
And he learned a lot from David Stern, but he's also going down his own path. Also, he's.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was finished.
I want to ask you a question. Do you two find it strange? Well, not strange. Well, I can say that. Do you all find it strange that Jerry Jones still hasn't spoken out at all?
No. This is within his MO.
Yeah. I mean, he has not said not one word. Not even about the Dak Prescott thing. He has not said nothing about that or injustice.
No. This is perfectly aligned with who he is. perfectly. Like, this is exactly who Jerry Jones is. I don't think we should be surprised anymore.
Right.
It's about wins and Dallas Cowboys and income with him. Everything else under the sun doesn't really matter, or he makes it seem like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, we know what's up. We know how Jerry does, and you know, speaking of injustice, I know we kind of skipped that real quick because we only got 2 minutes left. What do you guys think about the players wearing the stuff on the jerseys and the Black Lives Matter shirts?
I love it.
It's cool. I mean, it gives it shows the world how the players feel, and it gives them a chance to speak on a national platform on something that's very important to us in this very moment in America.
We got to keep our voice alive, though, man, because if you're taking notice of it, it's kind of going on the back burner. The one's talking. We got to keep this thing going. We can't just sit here and holler for a moment. We got to keep it going.
The momentum, exactly. The momentum has to stay here.
And that's what they want. That's what they want. They want it to die down so they don't have to hear the noise no more. Well, we can't do that.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I
totally agree with that.
I agree. And I think
but
all sports should do the same thing.
Yeah, one thing I want to add is I don't really like how corporate America is getting behind this thing like it's a money machine type of thing.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you for saying that.
It has nothing to do with the money. It's about we actually want change and legislation brought. We don't care about the money. You know what I'm saying? Black people have been making money for a long time, but we need change and equality.
Yeah.
I don't really like how Verizon and all these people are just running behind. We stand behind only to gain corporate dollars.
They treat it like a brand, and we're not a brand.
Yeah, it's not. This is not what it is. It's not a Jordan brand. This is like this is a movement,
right?
And a call for change. It's exactly what it is.
All right, so that wraps up this episode of Quarantine. Anything left? You guys want to mention before we wrap this up?
The Blazers look really scary. That's all I got.
Blazers? Did you say Portland?
Portland looks really scary.
That's who I was hollering for over the Pelicans.
Really scary.
You know what?
I want them to get in so bad.
I'm with you on
I
that.
know it.
Blazers, Lakers, first round. But it's your boy T. It's your boy T.
He might be frozen.
You notice how the audio started messing up when we
Oh, he was frozen. All right,
it's your boy TJ.
It's your boy now, man.
All right.